Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful for everything that you have been sending me, comments, questions, everything, and all the love that I've been receiving. And obviously, please keep on asking me questions, and if I think I can do a video on it suitably, then I will do one. Otherwise, I won't, obviously, because I already am just a mere amateur doing these videos about the personality types and things like that. So I don't want to give anyone any false information. And as always, all of this information is based on my own personal experience as an INFJ and as a person on the spectrum. So it's not like I am speaking from a psychological or a psychiatrist or anything expert-like opinion. So please keep that in mind whenever you're listening to my videos. And today I wanted to speak to you about something that I've been noticing more and more coming up for me, because I guess perhaps I'm just becoming a little bit more aware of all of my weird quirks, or like my quirks, and the things I do, and I'm just becoming more conscious of them. Because before I did them and I wasn't conscious of them, and then I made mistakes and I kept on making the same mistakes over and over again because I never paid attention. And all of a sudden, I don't know what it is. It's maybe I'm like now much wiser, which is not the case. Maybe older, whatever the reason. I'm also kind of paying a lot more attention to the way I do things. I'm slowing down a lot more. I'm being still. So whatever the reason is, there's lots of reasons. But I'm noticing that I'm becoming more conscious of the way I'm doing things. And I'm just kind of really questioning myself. Like, why do I do things the way I do them? You know, whatever it might be. And recently I've noticed that I have a real problem with time dilution and distance dilution and figures, numbers dilution in general. So what I mean by that is that I don't know how much time has passed by. I don't know how much distance is in between things, and I do not understand or forget how numbers work in a lot of different cases. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with my being on the spectrum, ADHD, autism. It has partly also, I think, INFJ traits related to it. So I think INFJs behave like this as well. But as I said before, there's a lot of overlap between INFJ traits and the spectrum and PTSD and like so many different things. So that you can't really say what is causing this. So I didn't necessarily say that this is an INFJ thing. I don't know what it is, but I know that it is something that's prevalent in INFJs, in people on the spectrum. My sister, who's also on the spectrum, and she's an INTJ, she said that sometimes she has this issue as well. And I'm pretty sure everyone has this. It's just I have it at a level where it's actually causes issues for me. It causes me to sometimes have problems with the people around me, or problems at work, because I don't actually understand these particular things. Now, what am I talking about exactly? So let's give an example. It's a very silly example, perhaps, but my sister hates walking with me because I will say, oh yeah, no, it's only a 15-minute walk. It's only a 15-minute walk that way. Like, it's totally fine. It's not that far. We can just do it. Let's do it. And in the beginning, my poor sister, she would trust me because she's like, my older sister should know better. She now does not trust me, thankfully. And she's like, in the beginning, she'd be like, all right, 15 minutes, I guess I can do it. And then she'll walk, and then it'll end up being 45 minutes or an hour-long walk because I don't understand, or I don't remember, or I have no idea how to gauge these things. I'm completely confused by that. And this is not just like a one-time thing. It happens all the time. And so now she never trusts me. She says, how far is it? 15 minutes? So it must be at least an hour long away. So she doesn't trust me anymore, unfortunately. But that is a good thing, because it makes me realize that, yeah, I'm not good at gauging distances or gauging time. For example, like, this is something that happens to me constantly, that I will have no idea what date it is anymore. Not only because I don't work in an office anymore, I work by myself, but also, you know, I'll be like, oh yeah, so it's still the beginning of November, right? And, you know, I still have loads of time before the end of November, before I have to pay my rent. And people will be like, no, it's already the middle of November. It's already November 16th. What are you talking about? It's already November 17th. You know, what are you talking about? And I'll look at the calendar. I'm like, shit. I lost 2 weeks in my head, at least, not obviously in reality, but it's just that in my head, the calibration that it does with time, distances, space, all of that stuff is completely convoluted and not accurate at all, not even a little bit. I do this all the time with my period as well, in my menstrual cycle. I'm like, oh yeah, I have so many days left before my menstrual cycle, like before I get my period. Why am I so grumpy all of a sudden? Or, why am I getting like so hungry? Because I always get really hungry, famished hungry, 7 or 8 days before my period. And so I'll be like eating like a crazy person, like eating like 4 or 5 meals that day. And then I'll be like wondering to myself, why am I like this? It's not 7 days before my period, is it? And so, I'll check, because I have a calendar that I kind of put it into, otherwise I'll never know. And I'll be like, oh my God, it is exactly 7 days to my period. Of course I didn't remember. Of course I didn't realize, because I am completely convoluted with times and dates in my head. I have no idea what's going on. And if I did not have a calendar, if I did not have a phone, I would have no idea what time it is. I would have no idea what date it is. I would have no idea where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's why a lot of times I need to write stuff down for myself. That's one of the ways I protect myself, is because if I don't write it down, I will forget about it completely. I will have no idea I'm supposed to be doing it. And I'll have no idea what date it's all supposed to be on. And I will have no idea that I'm supposed to do something. Like, I have to put every single thing on my calendar. Even getting a massage every week. I'll be like, oh yeah, I got a massage a couple of days ago. Yeah, it's fine. I don't need to get another one. And I'll check my calendar, or I'll check my expenses list, and it was 2 weeks ago that I got a massage. Or, I'll be like, yeah, I think I bought these shoes like a year ago. I don't know why they're breaking already. Maybe 2 years ago, but they should not be breaking or be so worn down. And I'll check my expense list, or I'll check Amazon or wherever I got it from. And it was 7 years ago that I got them. And it's not like I'm kind of doing it because I'm just clueless or forgetful. I remember things that like other people do not remember. So it's not my memory that's an issue. It's the fact that I think it's a time, distance, number, figure issue. And I believe it has to do with the spectrum. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else. Maybe it's an INFJ trait. I don't know. Tell me if you're an INFJ who's not on the spectrum, and if you do this as well, because it could be the fact that I spend way too much time in my head and I have no idea what's reality based anymore. Also, I work from home. I don't really talk to that many people anymore. Like, I socialize once a week. Perhaps it's this isolation that makes me like completely oblivious to time, dates, and all that. But it's not even like it's everything. It's not just 1 or 2 things that I'm having an issue with. It happens to me every time. I'll be like, no, I spent $40 yesterday, and I'll actually calculate it. It ends up being $90. Or I'll calculate. I have to write down everything that I spend, because I'll be like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I only spent $200 this month, or something like that. And I'll check, and it's $1,000. But the problem is that there's a wide variation. If it was maybe off by $50, cool, that's fine, no worries, no big deal. But the variation between times and dates and spaces and numbers is so vast. That's actually a problem. And thankfully, I'm not doing a job where I need to be an accountant, or I need to be really careful or pay close attention to details with numbers and figures, because I would not be able to do that job properly. I mean, if I really paid attention, I guess I could, but in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to my own life, I am not good at it. I need to write stuff down, otherwise I won't remember. I will have no idea. I'll make up numbers in my head, or I'll have an idea in my head which is completely false. And so, I'm kind of doing this video because perhaps you're in the same situation, and you're like, I always make mistakes. Am I just an idiot? Am I not, like, do I forget? Like, am I just not intelligent? No, it's not that. You are probably an intelligent person. I don't know you. Probably you are. It's not that. It's the fact that it's being on the spectrum, or being in that kind of situation where you kind of completely lose track of reality somehow. And numbers, figures, dates, distances, all of that stuff, just in your head, you have an idea. It is completely false. And so you always have to check. I always have to check. I'll always be like, oh yeah, it's only 10 minutes drive to this place. And I check, it's 25 minutes. And so I always have to check, because otherwise I'd be late to places all the time. I would not show up to places properly if I didn't write them down. People would message me saying, oh, I thought we had a call just now. And if I had not written it down, I had no clue the call even existed. Even though I set it up myself a week ago or 4 days ago, I have no idea, because it's completely disappeared from my purview. And if I don't write stuff down, I have no idea what's going on. So I wanted to share this with you because it's something that I've kind of, I've learned to have workarounds now around, so I can make sure that, I don't forget if, what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll write it down in my calendar. I'll send a note to myself, or, I'll have some kind of system of making sure that I understand what I'm supposed to be doing when. But it is a pain in the bum, and also it's also just really hard, because sometimes I'm like, why does it have to be like this? Why can't I just remember? Unfortunately, I can't. And so, you have to have workarounds. And if you are in the same situation and you're just kind of frustrated with it, have workarounds in place. Write everything down. Make sure you always double check everything. That's what I do. Even if I think I'm like, no, I'm absolutely sure this is what it is, just check again. Make sure it's actually that. Because in all probability, it's probably not. If you are on the spectrum, which I am, and I'm realizing a lot of different traits that I have are because of that. Or if you're an INFJ and perhaps this is an INFJ thing, I'm not sure. Let me know if you are one and you do this as well. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I hope this makes sense. Again, thank you so much for listening, for being on my channel, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.